When you went over to ONE FC, like, how do they pay over there?
They pay good.
Is it comparable to the UFC? Is it better?
Everybody's contract is different. Everybody's contract is different. I'm happy. I'm very happy where I'm getting, but everybody's totally different.
Do you
I don't like arguing, right? I don't like I remember when I fought what was it? Like I remember when I fought Chris Carriasso, I made I don't know. Let's say I made $150,000, right? And then I'll fight the next challenger, Kyoji Horiguchi, I would make less money. Right? And I'm like, how the fuck is this because you always get your show and your win. Excuse me. Your show and win, right?
Right.
Your show might be $150K and your win's $50,000 bonus. Typically it goes up by escalator of $3,000, $10,000, $15,000. It all depends, right? But then when I fought Chris Carriasso, I made, let's say $150,000. And then when I fought Kyoji Horiguchi, I made less. Even though the pay, it went up, I still made less money.
Why?
Right? I don't know why, right? Because I didn't get pay-per-view points at the time, right? And so I was like, I remember telling Sean, I was like, hey, Sean, can I just fight that guy again? Because I made more money fighting Chris Carriasso than if I fought Kyoji Horiguchi. And he goes, no, you can't do that,
But did he say, well, I don't understand why you're making less when you're winning.
I don't know. I think it was probably because pay-per-view points, bonus, I have no idea, right? But I didn't get pay-per-view points. So that's the biggest thing. And then I remember when it came time for me to renegotiate my contract, after I beat Henry Cejudo the first time, like I argued and not argued, but I fought for pay-per-view points, right? Because that's where you start making that next wealth. Right? Like, shit, John Jones hasn't fought, what, 2-3 years?
Right.
And he's made all that money in pay-per-view points, so he has that opportunity to take 2 to 3 years off, right? So for me, I fought and fought and fought, and I was like, I want pay-per-view points. Like, even though I don't draw, right? I mean, hopefully one day I am a draw, but if I land on a Conor fight or if I land on a Conor fight or a John Jones fight or whatever, that's going to bring in 875,000 pay-per-view buys. If you make $350K and then the pay-per-view structure is 0 to 200, $0, 2 to 4, $1, 4 to 6, $1.50, then 6 to 8, $2. You add all that up, you're walking out with a $2 million paycheck, right? So you do that. If I would have had, pay-per-view points on 11 consecutive title defense, you do the fucking math. I would be way well off. So, yeah. So
did you get it?
No, I got it on one fight, and that's when I fought Henry Cejudo the second time. But I felt like they gave that to me after I fought Ray Borg. I was about to fight Ray Borg. I was in Montreal. We were in Canada. I was cutting weight. They called and say, hey, stop cutting weight. He's not going to make it. I'm like, the fuck, man. We're going to push the fight back to 3 weeks later. Fought in Vegas. And after I beat him in Vegas, they're like, hey, we're going to give you pay-per-view points on your 11th on this one against Henry Cejudo, and that was it. So I was always at a ceiling, but I don't like that back and forth. I don't like the
tension.
I don't like the tension. I don't like the negotiation. It's like, hey, this is what I want. This is what I think I'm worth. How can we get here, right? There was never any transparency. Just chill and talk in a non-hostile environment. That makes sense.
And how is the difference between the way they treat you at ONE FC?
It's great. We talk. We like. For us to have that conversation about the Rodtang fight is how it should be. It should be like a marriage, right? It should be like, hey, we want you to fight Rodtang for the world title. And I'm like, you know what? I appreciate that, but I think that's deserved for somebody else who has worked his whole life to get that opportunity, right? Okay, well, what did you have in mind? I was like, well, I would love to fight him. Let's do Muay Thai. I feel like that dialect should be going, but obviously we never got to that point when I was in, the UFC, so.
But is there like a more hostile relationship with the UFC when you were there versus
1,000%. Oh, 1,000%. Because remember at the time did you see that the man who tried to race the UFC, the man who tried to race the UFC tried to race me. It's
they try to race you?
Patrick Gavey did it. It's on YouTube. He did a huge piece on it. And at the time when I was going through my title reign, like they were talking about getting rid of the division, right? So there's always tension because they're trying to get rid of the division. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So imagine that. You're killing it. You're fucking just destroying everybody in the division. And next thing you know, the CEO or the boss who goes, I'm going to get rid of that fucking division because it's not bringing any money. How do you think it's going to make you feel?
Not good.
Exactly. So that's where the tension starts to battle. So how are you going to have a relationship with somebody who wants to get rid of your division when you're going out there trying to put on exciting fights, right? So that's where the tension. That's where the tension started from.
Was this? I'm trying to remember. Was this before WME bought the UFC?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
This is. I totally forgot about all this until this guy did it, and I sat there and watched. And I'm like, holy shit! I forgot about that. Like I forgot about all the things that was said in public.